Okay, welcome at long last to the December edition, the final Fire Safe Council leadership meeting for the year. Looks like we've got lots of great Fire Safe Council leads and partners on the call. We did, as you are all well aware, we've been juggling our Fire Safe Council monthly meeting. We rearranged it to the fourth Wednesday of the week to help accommodate some of our partners. But then, of course, the holidays are upon us. And so we set it back to this week, and it turns out we do actually have a board meeting for Napa Firewise tonight. So Lori and a lot of our team are going to be on that call instead. Lori will join us if she can. And just really happy to see all of you on here. Just okay. So all that. On the agenda for this evening, we'll hear from our fire partners. I see Dave Shue on the call, and can't see if there are others, but looking forward to those updates. I have a few updates from Napa Firewise and from the Wildfire Preparedness Division in particular, and then we'll be spinning through the Fire Safe Councils. And if you're on the call and we get to your Fire Safe Council, if you'd like to say just a couple words, we're going to try to keep each Fire Safe Council to about 2 minutes for just the shortest, briefest overview or update. You can just shout out your favorite thing for the year, something you're working on, and we'll go from there, just right through around the world. So with that, let's see, Dave Shue, do you want to take it away?
Yeah, sure. Good afternoon, everybody, or evening, really. I'm really happy to see everybody here. And as you all know, we are really plowing through the implementation of the BRIC grant. We've got people working on marketing. We've got people working on the environmental reviews of those kind of things. And we're hoping to, make some really big progress at the beginning of 2025. And I don't have any kind of a date or projection yet as to when we may actually be able to transition over to phase 2, which means that then we can actually start doing work on the ground. I'm hopeful that we'll begin before the end of 2025. But most people laugh at me when I say that optimistically. So we'll see. And we'll just keep you all in the loop. I think since I've been here a year now, I really just want to reach out to every single one of you and really thank everybody in this county for all the hard work that they're doing. I know that we had, I think there's some real ample evidence that we're making some good progress here in Napa County. First off, I think that we had a couple of significant fires this summer that could have resulted in some pretty significant fire events, but due to maybe a little bit of luck, but some good fire behavior and prevention work that had been done ahead of time, in addition to the fact that we had a good response very quickly on these fires, resulted in really no damage across the way. We also went through a couple of pretty significant wind events. I think we all recall those just here recently. And yet nothing happened again. And so there is a growing body of evidence that the work that is being done with the utility companies underlining power lines and strengthening their line systems, and the work that is being done with communities and neighborhoods, there is a growing trend of reduction in structure losses. Now, it's very, very early to suggest that it is a full-blown dive, but we are beginning to see some progress. And I have to say that there's a lot of credit to go to individual homeowners, fire safe councils, Firewise communities, and everybody out there that's working really hard. So as the fire administrator here in the county, I can't thank you all enough for all the hard work you're doing. It is really paying off. I think it'll continue to pay off for us. And I look forward to continue to working with all of you for 2025. So I wish everybody a very wonderful, happy holiday season. And I'm going to turn it back to Sherry.
Thank you, Dave. That was wonderful. That was such a great, concise report out. And I really appreciate those words, hearing about the progress that's been made. And I think that really can't be overstated. It's before I go any further, I just want to say, like, for what the analogy I've been using lately is watching your nephew or niece who live across the country, or your friend's child grow up, and just that you can't see the incremental growth maybe from inside the Fire Safe Council, but watching you guys just doing amazing work, and the county as well, the development with now having a fire administrator, and the growth in the fire department, adding additional battalion chiefs and fire marshal folks. It's tremendously inspiring and hopeful. I think we're getting there. So thanks for your vision too, Dave, and helping us get there too. Get that plan. Are you still calling it the 30-year plan? Because I'd like to see that in like 3 years.
Yeah, essentially. But it's a continuing work in progress.
Does anyone have any questions for Dave? He needs to jump off. If you have something in the chat, you want to just come off mute and throw it out there, because it's challenging to monitor the chat from where I'm standing here. But thanks again, Dave. I really appreciate it. Thanks for being here consistently and supporting all your fire safe councils. Oops, I was going to start sharing again. While I'm getting back up here to my screens, the defensible space cost share / neighbors in need project that we talked about at our last month's meeting is now underway. We have 10 fire safe councils so far. I'm sorry, 8 fire safe councils so far that have signed up to help bridge the gap for folks who would like to take advantage of that cost share program, but do not have the funds to do so. So the fire safe council can go ahead and pay for their well, you've probably all heard this, but for those of you who are new, pay for the neighbors in needs defensible space cost share contractor, and then be reimbursed by the grant. So it's just a short bridge of funds from Fire Safe Council that helps get more work done. And we have 8 Fire Safe Councils doing that, and 10 so far in process. So if you haven't signed up, sharing my screen, am I? Short. If you haven't signed up and you would like your Fire Safe Council to be able to provide this service, please let Lori and myself know. You may have put it in the chat during our last call or mentioned it, but the folks that we have listed so far, let's see. We have Berryessa Highlands, Berryessa Estates, Berryessa West, Angwin, Calistoga, Spring Mountain. I guess that's 9. And one more. Gosh, I'm so sorry, guys. Should not have stopped sharing my screen to begin with.
Sherry, I had a quick question about that.
Yeah.
Today we got our first application for Spring Mountain Fire Safe Council. I wasn't clear why Firewise was asking me whether we would want to participate as a Fire Safe Council. I wasn't understanding why we wouldn't want to. You know, it seemed like it would be something we'd all want to do. So, is there something I'm missing here?
Yes. In order to make this go seamlessly, people as they apply, Fire Safe Council can be notified that there's someone in their Fire Safe Council who would like to get a little assistance with this program. But the person's contact information is not shared. So in order to do this, the Fire Safe Council signs an agreement with Napa Firewise, and you can decide how many projects you want to float at a time. You could just do one project at a time, and then once you get reimbursed for that project, you could start another one, or some Fire Safe Councils are doing 2 at a time. So the total amount the maximum amount that would be expended is $3,500. And it could be less than that per project. That could be the maximum amount. So if you have the funds in your account, it's just a kind of a question of how much money you want to loan out to the program at a time. And it would only be, the funds would only be used if, again, if somebody in your Fire Safe Council applies for the cost share program and meets the income requirements to not need to do the match part of the cost share. Does that make sense? So in order to make all of this bridging funds work, we just have an agreement signed with the Fire Safe Council that outlines the understanding about how those funds will be expended and that they will be reimbursed, and kind of just the bones of the project. And then we also end up signing agreements with the contractors who are doing the work on the project and with the landowners. So there's kind of a few different moving pieces to make this all work.
I guess I would just add to that, you know, as a Fire Safe Council, we're funding through Firewise with all cash. So to request that the Fire Safe Councils go sort of outlay the cash seems a little like not aligned with where the cash is sitting, right? So we're potentially restricting the number of people we could be helping, because we as Fire Safe Councils are concerned about our cash flow on it. And that seems like that the cash flow piece of it is more of a Firewise piece, if I could be so bold as to say that. But just wanted to throw that out there to see if maybe it would be something that Firewise would be willing to talk over. Because I'd hate to miss in particular people, the neighbors in need, because we as a Fire Safe Council don't have the cash to front the money that's coming through the grant.
Right. So the Fire Safe Councils, in order for this to work, I mean, it would be dependent upon the amount of funds you have in your account that Napa Firewise is holding for you. So that would be one of the constraints. And the funds that we're holding in your account are your funds, so we can't expend them without your explicit permission and at your discretion.
It's more of a mechanical thing though, where you're asking us to, the email exchange this morning was about, or this afternoon was about, doing a couple neighbors in need at a time in order to avoid additional cash. But doesn't the cash flow work? And maybe I'm not understanding this, but maybe the group would like to hear this, or maybe we can take it offline. But doesn't it work such that the person applies for their Fire Safe Council, and then the grant is actually reimbursed through Firewise? I feel like I'm missing something on this.
The grant is reimbursed through funds in the grant, which are separate from, we don't have those funds per se. It has to go get approved by, this is a CALFIRE grant. So the funds
okay. So it's outside of Firewise. Got it.
Right. We don't.
That's what I was missing. Okay. All right.
We get them in batches. We get the funds in batches, but it does have to be approved by our grantor first. And
okay.
Yeah.
So just so other Fire Safe Councils are aware who haven't hit this yet, when someone does request, you would have to front the money until CALFIRE, not Firewise, but CALFIRE reimburses a neighbor in need. Okay.
Well,
understood.
And one last piece of it, Pam, is that when this all occurs and the person's done their assessment and the chosen projects that they want to do, and they get a contractor and we get the contract, we have an agreement with the contractor, and the agreement states with the contractor that we are not going to pay them for their services until they can supply the before and after photos and the work has been completed. That all can be confirmed, and then and then we pay the contractor with the funds from the Fire Safe Council and immediately apply to be reimbursed. And so it should just be a week or two, is usually how that would work before the funds are back in your account.
So okay, got it. So the Fire Safe Council's job then is to really make sure that the neighbor does the photography and all of that kind of work to support getting reimbursed.
The Fire Safe Council doesn't have to do anything at all. The Fire Safe Council is just, is out of the picture except for loaning the funds. So Napa Firewise would make sure that we had all the project has been completed to our satisfaction, and then the contractor's paid and the money gets back, and we can to the part that Napa Fires would let you know that the funds have been expended and then that they've been replaced into your account, so you could move on to another one if you wanted. Or
okay, got it.
Yeah,
I don't want to beat
further
this one to death. Yeah, I don't want to beat it to death. I don't want to just derail the meeting.
No, it's good. It's a new program.
Yeah.
And,
yeah.
Lori is really much more fluent in it than I, so we can have a separate meeting with Lori and have her fill you in a little bit more, or a call with her.
Okay, great. And then maybe we'll update the group once we do that, just because I think there's others that are in my same situation, which are like, we're trying to understand what our role is here.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's it's a new project. And as these get completed too, we can have some of the Fire Safe Councils, I would say report out, but there's really nothing to see from the Fire Safe Council side, except that you get some more of your community members who've gotten some defensible space work done, and we will provide just the information that more work has been done, but keeping people anonymous for other people who participate.
Yeah, understood. Okay, thank you so much.
Right. And that grant ends in March, so we're trying to get through as many as we can, and we've been really picking up a head of steam lately. So thank you all for helping socialize this defensible space cost share program. And the other part of it was mentioned before, but there's some more people on the call now that weren't on last month, is that the defensible space cost share program comes with a free evaluation. Previously, those were only available to people who live in the high to very high fire severity zone. And so people had applied for the funds. The funds are only available to those areas, but now if you want, you can apply anywhere in Napa County for the program and get the evaluation. And you wouldn't be able to participate in the cost share program, but you would get that project list from the person doing the evaluation. So you get like a digital copy of it, and it just helps you, with a little additional education about what you can do to help make your home safer. And the funds are only for defensible space, but the report also covers home hardening. So there you go. Exciting developments right and left. Okay, and then one just really quickly too, we've talked about these billboards. We have some funds. We have, this is the one where we have, so far, this is the one that we have a partial list, I think, of people who are actually interested in having a billboard. And these billboards can be changed out. The funds we have will provide at least one sign, but you can kind of unscrew the plexiglass and put in different signs, so you can have information updates for the public along the road. The key part though is, of course, finding a place where you can put that sign that follows all the county rules about signage, and ideally work with your local fire department and CALFIRE so that they can also help with the signage information well provided. This is an example from Mount Leader on the picture there. So again, if you would like to participate in this and you're not on that very short list, various of the states, Highlands, West, Calistoga, Capel Valley, Spring Mountain, I think there's one I can't see underneath all your shining faces. But again, maybe just shoot Wildfire Preparedness an email and let us know that you would like to also be added to that list.
Barry, I believe Lori is working with Eric Hernandez in the fire marshal's office to determine the best placement and what these need to be. There is things to do with ordinances, and there's also some stuff to do with the land that it goes on as well. So I know they're.
Thank you, Jared. I didn't see you on the call too, and I don't know if Eric's there too, but do you have any other updates you'd like to add while you're?
I got on late, so I apologize for that. I don't. I think everybody knows about the chipping program and has the schedule that we're heading towards. I haven't received any feedback on it, so that's what we're gonna work towards. So yeah, happy holidays, everybody.
Thank you very much, and thanks for being here. And I do have that slide tacked on to the very end of our deck here, so I can put that up at the end if anyone hasn't seen it. We'll share that around again too, but I think it was in the update. And we also have Lori and I are working on a newsletter for you that will hopefully come out in the next day or two. So we'll include it in there as well. And I love the idea. Again, there are a number of people on here that weren't here before, so I hate to repeat it too much, but it's such a great thing to know. The County Chipper program will be coming to your neighborhood on a scheduled time, and you could do community cleanups and really encourage folks to get their stuff out for the chipping program in advance of the following assessments or inspections by Eric Hernandez and his team. So it's a big help to get out in front of that. And then after that, there won't be a schedule, I believe. Is that correct, Ara? You can just sign up for it as usual.
First come, first serve, free for all till we close.
Awesome. Thank you. All right. So again, upcoming dates, we've got that field trip coming up on December 20th. That's this Friday at the Tucker Farm Center. That will be at 10:30. And it'll be a walking tour, but a very short walk around to see the project that was just completed. There's some things to be done still and some other interesting projects that have happened and should happen in the area. So you'll get a good insight into all of that from our Veg Ops team and from some of the local community members that are part of the Diamond Mountain Fire Safe Council. And we'll be having some festive holiday refreshments and hot cocoa and coffee and cookies and things. So join us if you can. Love to see you there. January 9th, another field trip. That one will be staff for Napa Firewise and Fire Safe Council leads are welcome as well to see the Timber Hill Fuel Reduction Project up in over in Napa that our team is very proud of, very excited about that one. And that will probably be a walking tour as well, although there may be, if you're interested in a more extensive tour, that might be possible as well. In January, the long-awaited, frequently advertised, not yet completed for the most part, Napa Firewise Fire Safe Council check-ins will be happening finally. So we look forward to meeting with each of your Fire Safe Councils and going over your needs and questions and anything else for planning for the year. And you can hear updates from Napa Firewise, and we can just communicate and check in. And Dave Shue and JR will be part of that as well if they're able. It's going to be, we're going to put out a calendar so you can schedule your preferred date for your Fire Safe Council for your team. And if you would prefer, we can come to your Fire Safe Council and join one of your regularly scheduled calls or meetings if that's easier or just seems like a better fit for your group. But we would just need to plan that out as far in advance as possible. And we are looking at Wednesdays and Fridays for the most part for these meetings that we're going to be putting the calendar out for. And that'll be down at our office space in Napa. So again, we would be happy to come to you. That'll be an opportunity to talk to Veg Ops about plans for the year and folks from our team, as well as all of those previously stated. So look for that. Grab those spots quick as you can. And then the last thing I would say is we're back on our fourth, gosh, I hope that's the right date, fourth Wednesday of the month for our Fire Safe Council leads until the next big holiday season, until November and December for next year. We're going to try to be really consistent with that. And those will be on Zoom. We did sort of investigate trying to do an in-person meeting for January. I know that's difficult because you guys were all pretty far flung, but I do love the idea of getting us all together for a workshop. So we'll be trying to plan some of those things as well coming up in the near future. And look forward to seeing you all in person, because I think it's really important to cross-pollinate as well. Yeah, I'll post that. I'll share that county fire agenda in a little bit. And the agenda. Oh, sorry, I may have answered that question. Looks like Dave, you got it already for the chat. All right. Okay, and now I would really love to hear from all of you. Using science, I have got you guys in alphabetical order. However, I don't think that every Fire Safe Council is here today, so we might have to kind of gloss over a couple and just give you the very short report. But I do see Diane Haley from Atlas Peak Fire Safe Council is on the call. Diane, I apologize. I didn't put up, oops, Penguin. Look at my alphabet. Yes. Atlas Peak, first of all, do you have anything to share, Diane?
I don't actually. I'm catching up and this is all super interesting and we don't have any of those signs. I don't know if people would want them, but I'm going to inquire about that. But yeah,
Okay.
I don't have any other update.
Okay, well, I can say for Atlas Peak, I know you guys do your annual fundraising and do weed whacking along the road. Do you have any details on that, or
No.
That's a Tom Breland question. Okay.
And that's still most of our budget, but I don't know when it's scheduled. And the fundraising, I think we're going to get our heads into at the next meeting.
Excellent. Yeah, really appreciate all of your work. And there is a newly opened up fire road that extends from Lake Hennessy all the way over to Atlas Peak Road. And a lot of additional work has been done kind of around that. And some of us went on a field tour to investigate that all the way back in September, I think.
Is that the one that we need permission from the owners at the time of use?
It goes through that one goes through the land trust largely.
Right.
I think it gets almost to Atlas Peak Road.
Right.
Okay, thank you. And thanks for being here. Really appreciate having you on these calls. To report for next up, England Fire Safe Council. Lauren, do you want to give us a quick update?
Yeah, hi folks. This is Lauren Laren, lead for the England Fire Safe Council. We had two big pushes this year. One is a sort of reorganization of our steering committee structure, so that we could get some more folks involved after the retirement of our long-term lead. So in this picture, you see our mitigation project chair, Peter, and our communication chair, Allison. And we also have a neighborhood organizing chair, Scott, as well as a whole bunch of other community members who've stepped up to organize their neighborhoods and to work on these committees. And so our second big push has then been to increase communication with our community. And so we have instituted a monthly newsletter. And in order to encourage folks to sign up to get that newsletter, you can see in the picture, we held a raffle at the England Flea Market. Anyone who came up and talked to us and signed up to get our newsletter was put in a raffle for a free pair of loppers. And we were able to have conversations with folks about defensible space and the Fire Safe Council. And so that was a pretty great activity to take advantage of an event where folks who, are there for a different reason could come and have a conversation with us about this, rather than having our own event where you mostly get folks who are already interested in the topic who shows up. And then I guess the last update is that we were able to renew our Firewise USA certification this year. And we had a bunch of community members report how much work they have done hours wise and dollars spent on home hardening and defensible space. And we had about $1 million reported to us just from community members. And we know that's a severe underreport, but knowing that there's a lot of work being done through the chipping program, through the defensible space cost share program, and also just folks out there working every weekend in their yards. And I'll leave it there. Thanks, Sherry.
Oh, thank you. Thanks for being here. You guys are doing an amazing job. And the one other thing I would add, and I was going to throw this picture in there too, but Peter LaCourte helped lead a tour of the Forest Health Grant that Napa Firewise has been undertaking with the PUC, within the PUC forest. But we had about 16 people coming from South America to come up and learn about what we were doing in the forest there for fire fuel reduction, and to just learn generally about how we're handling wildfire preparedness as part of our community outreach. And so I got to highlight all the amazing work the Fire Safe Councils are doing to work with all their communities. So spotlight on you, and thank you again for. Wish you could have all been there for that. It would have been fun to have you out there to tell them your own selves next time. And now I think I've got, yep, that was peak. Sorry about that. Right. Okay, somebody else needs to be in charge of alphabetizing apparently. And then, whoa, sorry, Calistoga. So this is what happens when you edit presentations. Oh shoot. When you don't have good Wi-Fi and it doesn't save your changes, but that is, shoot guys, so sorry. Hold that thought 1 second. We don't have Diamond Mountain on, I don't think. Is anyone from Diamond Mountain here? I know Gretchen de Lemur is singing tonight in St. Helena, so she is not available, unfortunately, to tell her own story. But I'm gonna go, so I'll go back to them, but they've done amazing work. Yeah. But I'm gonna do like I've got Diamond Mountain and Calistoga up here together, melded together, much to my dismay. Anyway, Calistoga. I'm gonna stop sharing for a second because I do think I have a cleaner one of this. Calistoga held a community meeting. They have it every year, and they have it at Krug Winery. And this year they had Congressman Mike Thompson there talking about legislation that he was working on for to help with insurance, and also just general updates from fire and all the folks. And they also have a good program. I think you guys all know about that for using radios for communication. They're very active with that as well. So they did a presentation on that as well. So that's that. And then here, I'll share this again. They also ran a project. They were one of the test subjects for our new Fire Safe Council led project model. And they went out and scoped out the project with Napa Firewise, and with the battalion chief was out there as well, and ended up being able to put together a program that included the Napa Valley Vintners dozer line reestablishment program, and some great shaded fuel break clearing in an area to help protect a community, well, all of Calistoga too, but in an area that was really kind of hazardous for fire, and steep terrain and lots of vulnerable homes out there. So that was really great. And Calistoga did some fundraising to help support that program, that project. And I think they're very proud of it, as they should be. And Lon, I see Lon from Capel Valley.
Good evening, Sherry.
You sent me some great pictures too, which will really pop up here in a sec.
Yeah, no problem. I love the 2-minute drill. That's great. So really quick for Capel Valley this year, we have edited and submitted our CWPP to the folks at Napa Firewise. So we're looking forward to seeing progress on that. We've also completed our projects list for the same. We made some really awesome progress here at the end of the year. We worked together with Mike Wilson and his team, and we were able to complete 6 days of dozer work that began on the west side of Capel Valley above the R Ranch. So it basically, not contiguously, but creates a line along the ridge through the our ranch property north to south. So that was a great end of year project for us. So we're looking forward to building off of that. We've had a lot of success in a partnership with Napa Valley, or I'm sorry, Napa Pasture Protein for grazing. So we're going to be able to build off the line that Napa Firewise helped us improve to expand that grazing program and really help us create an anchor point from fires spreading from the west, which, if you're familiar with the major fires that move through that area, they tend to kind of cross the valley right near where the north end of our property boundary is. So that gives us an opportunity to work on the ridge line and improve our access for firefighters and the ability to hold fires that tend to truck through that area. End of report for us. Thank you.
Thanks, Juan. I think it's fantastic, and I love the grazing that you have going on along the R Ranch and just in general in the area. And that is where our mascots, Blaze and Cinder, are currently also. So say hello for me. But I think it's really exciting that you guys are hopefully going to get certified for Firewise USA and building up some more support within the community for your Fire Safe Council and really get that socialized. So, and thanks for sticking with us through it all. Okay. And next along the way, Coombsville Wild Horse. I think Eileen and Rich are both on the call.
I'll defer to Eileen since she's the one who hasn't had much chance to talk recently. But
thank you, Richard. But this update comes mostly from you. My part of it, we did get renewed for our certification, and we ended up managing to collect documentation for substantially more than $2 million worth of work. So there's a lot of work going on around us, and that comes from only about 25% of our population, our residents. So great work being done. And Richard, you can update them on the big piece.
I'd hardly call it the big piece, but it certainly has been exciting. We've been very lucky to get a lot of CALFIRE assistance in our Fire Safety Council area. They've done about 6 miles of dozer road over the course of the year. And we were able to get about 130 acres of prescribed burn training for CALFIRE up on the southeast portion of our Fire Safety Council, creating a nice burn area to hopefully make things a little safer in the summer. There is discussion about continuing this work, but of course, it's weather dependent and timing and training dependent on CALFIRE's availability and the like. And hopefully, we'll be able to get some tours available up there to show everybody what's going on and how well it's working and how it just clears an unbelievable amount of underbrush. It's been wonderful to watch these guys work and how great they are and what a terrific job they're doing and how excited Napa County is about getting back into the prescribed burn business. It's been great. I guess we should also mention, before I forget, that we're very excited about coming up with some other plans in other parts of the Fire Safety Council, a little further south, down around Green Valley. After the fire road has been cut in from down around Skyline Park up the east edge into Solano County, we're hoping that we'll be able to get some prescribed burn work done around the Green Valley and maybe even along that fire road to completely make a defensible line along the ridges from the south part of the county up through Solano County and just above Lake Madigan and Lake Fry. I think that covers just about everything in our district.
Yeah.
Awesome. Oh, go ahead, Eileen.
Well, there's an upcoming project along Wild Horse Valley Road as well that is funded. So within the next few months, we should be getting into that, which is really exciting. We're at a point where a lot of our CWPP projects have been executed. And so now we are out there looking for new projects as well. So, and very successfully. So hopefully going forward, we can make as much progress as we've done this year.
Great. Thank you both.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. All right, well, there's Diamond Mountain. The other thing I would mention, so this is the picture from their community meeting held at the Tucker Farm Center, where we'll be on Friday. Good turnout and lots of great speakers. And that's an annual event that's also kind of a social, I think. The other thing that's a picture that's the smaller picture is from work that's been going on along Sharp Heidi Road up that goes over into Sonoma County as an emergency access. That road's been kind of an ongoing interesting challenge with erosion and like through very private property. It's really only for emergency use, but it's so important to have that access. So if anyone has that issue in their fire safe council where there is a private road and trying to navigate that access question for emergency use only, Diamond Mountain Fire Safe Council would be a great one to reach out to learn more. And we work with the RCD to help make sure that our roads are all erosion free. There's some culverts that washed out in one of the big storms, so they had to be replaced, and it's an ongoing excitement, but also a great opportunity to make friends with the Sonoma County side, so the fire department on the Sonoma side and the Fire Safe Council on the Sonoma side. And Deer Park.
Well, first, I think all of you are doing so much work. It's awesome. And I'm always in awe of everything you guys are doing and your organization. We're just continuing to clean. My main priority, along with my committee, is to make sure that people keep their property clean. The FireWise organization has been amazing at getting grants to help get our area cleaned up, which I am really grateful for. So Glass Mountain and a few others places have been really cleared up well. And, you know, you may remember that we had a fire this spring in a spot where the 2020 fire started. In fact, it was almost identical to the original spots. We had a pretty big scare, and we were very fortunate with the support that we got from our fire people and our air support. So if you want to think you're safe, don't. Always be prepared. We're looking forward to our spring cleanup, and that's our main push. And we have applied for our FireWise, whatever it is, certification. I have not heard anything back on that. And that's it.
Well done, Deb. And I put these pictures up here for you because I think this was such a fantastic example. I think you've heard me say this before. Somebody needs to mute. It's not me this time. Okay.
Yeah, we did our community cleanup at Tucker Farm Center, one of our cleanups. And we did it prior to our meeting. And by the time we got to our meeting, everybody was tired. So we forgot the meeting, but we did clean up, and we hauled off several dumpsters worth of dirt and brush.
You know, there's a partial pile of it in front there, that picture on the left. And the volunteer firefighters from Deer Park were there helping they did a walk around, right, to point out the defensible space improvements that the Tucker Farm Center could use, just as an educational measure. I think that's such a great exercise for fire safe councils. I think a lot of you have done this kind of thing before, but everyone was just so excited to roll up their sleeves and get to work, including the fire department, until they got called out on a call. But we made some amazingly fast headway. It was incredible. So thank you for orchestrating that, Deborah. And as far as the the Firewise USA applications are concerned, everybody who is already recognized as a Firewise USA community had to do their renewals they have to be completed by the 20th. And so everybody's gotten them in, and then the reviewers had some questions for some folks. And so those last little tidbits need to be in by the 20th. And then the Firewise USA team, which is now kind of screened out by CALFIRE, their team is going to be doing new applications after that. So hopefully we'll hear soon. You can have that as a holiday gift or a New Year's gift anyway. It may not be till January, but for your 2024 recognition. And for anyone who hasn't gotten their application in, we can continue to work on those and get those in as soon as possible. So we're trying to get everybody to be a Firewise community as well. And I know there have been some issues with getting insurance companies to recognize some of our existing communities. Angwin's been having some trouble with that. Trying to track that down with the NFPA folks. So we'll get to the bottom of that soon, but there you go. And Gordon Valley, I saw Dan McQueenie on here. Are you still here, Dan? And
yes, I'm still here.
And Dan sent me a whole bunch of great slides too, which didn't make it in, unfortunately, in time. Edits didn't stick, but I'll add those later too for folks to see. I'm send this slide deck around. But Dan, give us your update.
Okay, well, this is a picture of our Firewise committee that Chief, I'm sorry, his name slips me right now. That Peril is there, and she's telling about informing us on what's available to us, educating us, and that's pretty much. It was a meeting and it lasted, I don't know, an hour or so.
Yeah. So Dan, this group had they had a community meeting right before this, or maybe
Yes.
this was a community meeting. So it was back-to-back meetings within a couple of days of each other, where they had the community come out, and that was like a 4-hour-long meeting, I believe, with lunch in the middle, and really well attended. People stayed and really engaged in their just general fire safety, not just for the Fire Safe Council, but from the Volunteer Fire Department, and CERT, I think, was there. They heard from the RCD and NRCS and a few other folks too. But then Carol presented on the CWPP, and Gordon Valley just dug right into that and their Firewise all in one fell swoop, and just turned that around like at record pace. So with it following up with another 2-hour meeting a couple days later. So you guys did a great job, and I know you've done a ton of grazing. I'll look forward to sharing those photos with everyone else. But Dan, can you talk about the grazing photos you sent at all and the dozer line?
Sure.
The next Hagen Oaks, Jim, if you're still on the phone, I'm on the call. I didn't get a photo for you, and I'm so sorry. I was going to at least put a map of you in there, but there you are. There's your XXX. Do you have any updates for the group?
Hold on a sec. No update. Well, we got our certificate updated, so that was a great achievement. We're the smallest Firewise, but they're mightiest. And we don't have a whole lot of projects, but we're pushing to get the neighbors to continue to clean and to harden their homes. That's about it.
Small and mighty for sure. So Hagen Oaks is a homeowners association too. So what's the percentage of people you have participating in defensible space around their homes?
It's about 70%, I'd say. There's probably 3 neighbors that are delinquent,
Extra
not
encouragement.
not engaged, but a pretty good turnout. Yeah, pretty good
Pretty good.
percentage.
Sounds pretty good. And then you have a new Fire Safe Council neighbor with Mount George Fire Safe Council. So you guys will have to share ideas.
Yes.
Inspiration. And how long have you been a Firewise community, Hagen Oaks?
2017 or 18. We're at one of the first.
Well done. Yeah, Silverado and Atlas Peak, I think, also have been Firewise communities for a long time, for a very long time. Circle Oaks was, and then they fell out of, they didn't keep renewing, so they're getting back on board now. And Hennessy Rector, so Bob, take it away.
Nothing to add other than what's on the slide there. Good picture. I wish I'd taken it myself. We finished our second year of maintenance. We finished all of our major projects a little better than a year ago, or just about a year ago, and have been focused on maintenance since then. We grazed about 50 acres, and you can see the dogs and the llama and the sheep there, and the rest of it was roadside maintenance, both along some interior roads and along Highway 128 on the boundary of our FSC.
Yeah, so how did you get to maintenance? That's pretty exciting. And do you want to mention how that's funded?
Oh yeah, so we ran through all of our major projects pretty quickly, and has just been focused on making sure that they remain effective. We've been raising funds from the outset from our neighbors, and the maintenance is all funded by contributions of our neighbors.
Pretty impressive. And I would also just call out that this, you can't see where this location is, but this is right next to the highway right around Lake Hennessy. And so I know that in the past has been a huge concern for community members in the Hennessy Rector area that a fire could start along the roadway. So keeping this area really wildfire friendly, keeping the grasses down, especially in the dry periods of the month, dry seasons, is really important. I mean, it is for all of us, but that's a heavily trafficked road. Like there, and I took this photo. Actually, I thought it was fun to see that there's also guardian llamas being deployed in addition to the guardian livestock dogs. So highly predator friendly area with coyotes and mountain lions and things.
Yeah, at night you can hear the coyotes approaching and the dogs reacting.
I bet. None too happy. Okay, and then let's see, we've got next up. Oh, thank you for all of that reporting. Oh, and one last thing, Bob. Did you want to mention any plans for longer range grazing?
Yeah, I mean, the grazing is great. They do a good job. The herd is managed pretty carefully so that there's there's no real risk of erosion. They don't eat the grass down to the roots. The one downside is at this point it's pretty expensive to graze, and we have some longer term plans of developing a herd that we keep on keep in the area year round. We have some pretty large open spaces where we can keep them in the winter and then just move them around in the spring and early summer, and hope that we can kind of reduce the cost of grazing or the per acre cost. And if we do that, our plan is to just graze more acres and kind of take all this area where we've come up from the highway and just instead of going a couple hundred feet, go instead of say 250 feet, go maybe 400 feet to where we can. There's a bunch of meadows that, as best I can tell, way back in the day were grazed and haven't been in a long time. And it's, I think, going to be pretty straightforward to just kind of clean them up again and do some longer term fire risk reduction.
Thank you for that. I think that's really exciting. And thanks again for hosting tours. I really appreciate you guys sharing your experience and your innovative ideas with other Fire Safe Council leads, and getting out there to see the projects on the ground is really exciting. And the beacon boxes too, which are contagious. Lake Hennessy, I don't think anyone's able to make it from Lake Hennessy. Stop me if I'm wrong. Is there anyone here? They have been doing some great work also with working on their relationship with the city of Napa, actually. So Lake Hennessy Fire Safe Council is right on the lake, of course, but part of the property that's owned by the city, I'm sorry, is within the Lake Hennessy Fire Safe Council. So they've been working on a relationship where they can use the roads that go through the water treatment area for emergency use only. So kind of like with Diamond Mountain. And they've worked out a great relationship with the city water, including doing a kind of a collaborative grazing, a very small collaborative grazing project right along the lake on city property that the city paid for, and they were able to use the herder and the sheep that were already in there doing one of the properties in the Fire Safe Council. They just moved right over and did some of the city property too, and so that was groundbreaking. And now that that's been established, that that precedence has been established, the city has said that they would be happy to do additional projects like that on their other lands. So that was kind of groundbreaking. All counts. So good work, and just a shout out to all of you who are continuing to work with your local neighbors and partners in all kinds of agencies, and large and small. Oops, and there's another Lake Hennessy. So Mount George has some great photos, but I didn't include them here apparently. So I don't. Is Craig on the call still? Okay. All right, so Mount George, brand new, shiny new Fire Safe Council had a fantastic community kickoff meeting last week at Cordillero's Steakhouse. Thank you to Dave Shue and Eric and others for joining that meeting as well, and some of the other Fire Safe Councils. Got some great support from Silverado Fire Safe Council with Linda and Allison, and Eileen was there as well. So thank you for helping to support your fledgling new neighbor, Mount George. They're off to the races, and they've had a couple small neighborhood meetings, kind of informational meetings too. It's on the up along the road, and already are helping get landowner agreements and kind of coordinate things. So be sure to welcome Craig and Eli. And this is also Mike Wilson's home Fire Safe Council, so he's been roped in as well. Mount Veeder, I believe we have a couple folks on from Mount Veeder. We've got Dan and
yes,
Margaret.
I'm here. So just to hit a couple of the highlights, we worked on against community engagement. We did complete and get signed our CWPP. It was a really great job of getting it done and getting it socialized. And so good, we're very happy about that. We did a neighborhood pancake breakfast at the Dry Creek La Jolla Fire Station that was reasonably well attended and had a number of great speakers, including Dave Shue there. If I recall, we've had our annual Home Winemakers Classic, which we used to fund a lot of our initiatives, and that cleared $14,000. And then we've gotten the updated signage put out for 6 locations on some of the bigger projects on vegetation management and fuel reduction projects. And I was kind of thinking that Joe's going to be here, so he would bail me out if anybody wanted more specifics on this, because I know him, I don't know him as well as he does. But the key ones, I think, the old Ridge Road maintenance has been done, although it's had some weather issues, particularly with rain at the end of the year here. The Hogback Ridge fuel break, which has gone reasonably well. The Redwood Road up to Partridge Connector, which opens up that area quite well, and then a fair amount of work around the veterans home. And then the third sort of initiative is the home hardening and the neighbors in need. We use the fundraising that we do to help pay for some of that, and then we partner with the defensible space cost sharing, so that for people who need it, we will cover their shared part of that. And so it's no cost at all to the homeowner. And we've had 9 projects funded this year. And then additionally, we've done 12 home assessments, or approximately 12 assessments. I don't have the hard number there. Roger is the guy who does all that. And I wasn't able to connect with him to get the firm number, but it's in that neighborhood. So it's been a productive year. We've got a couple of big projects that are in the works that are being talked about for next year. So that's pretty much it.
Is that all?
Yes, that's it.
Just kidding. That's pretty amazing. That's a very long list. And you know, your Fire Safe Council's been at it the longest, I think, maybe even before Napa Firewise started. So you've been doing this work, and just, it's really amazing. And I think your Neighbors in Need program, I love that model of just getting on there and helping folks who need the help with their defensible space. One question about that, maybe, I don't know if you know the answer to this or not, but do you go back and help the same neighbor if needed for maintenance, or is it always new people?
Yes, we have done that in some situations. We've, if people aren't doing it the right way, we've pushed back a little bit. But yes, particularly toward the end of this year, we've gone back for some people to clean things up. To, you know, problem with bay trees is they never quite go away. And so to help clean stuff up more, we have done that, and particularly this year.
Thank you for closing that circle for me. And everyone, I do apologize. It's already a little after 6, so I'm so sorry to be falling behind here. Hope Valley Fire Safe Council. I don't think anyone's on the call right now. Everybody's busy, but just on their behalf, they've made some great progress too in building out some community members who are taking on some projects. They have been working away at their CWPP, also getting projects lined out, and doing a lot of work on that, and also getting their Firewise USA application in. I've pointed this out multiple times on this calls, but their Fire Safe Council lead, Phil Burton and his wife Mary, opened up their home, invited Eric Hernandez, who brought several of his fire marshal inspectors along, and they did an inspection of Phil's house and pointed out things that he was doing right and things he could do that might be better, and then gave him a certificate of compliance with the county defensible space code. Phil had invited neighbors to come, and all of those neighbors ended up having the inspectors come to their homes as well once they saw what was involved in it, and that it was just a friendly inspection, not an inspection as much as an educational assessment of their defensible space. So that's a big success story. And after many attempts, Phil was able to get an insurance discount for having that certificate. So he got $1,000 off his insurance. So there you go. Persistence pays off. And Silverado, that is not your slide deck, so I am going to stop sharing. But I'm going to see if I can pull up that map that you shared, Allison, in the meantime, so everyone can see it, because you guys are also just killing it, doing great work. And I see Joe on the call too. So if you guys want to give a quick update.
Okay, Allison and I worked together on this this year. We've been taking it over from very competent people, and we have a nice group together, and we were able to graze our perimeter of 75 acres here in 2024, and we got our certificate just now. Milliken Creek's a big gash that goes right through our property. And there was a lot of remediation done this last year on there, and we find that Silverado Country Club Resort and Spa has been a terrific partner with us through all this. We have about 1,000 homes on that hillside. So now that we think we've got our grazing contract in line, now we're looking inward to do the 0 to 30 feet and get a little more personal with our individual owners, and so we'll see how that goes. But we've advanced everything for 2025. We're having a fundraiser instead of in May, where we had our resource fair. Now we're gonna have a fundraiser in March. We're hoping to get our grazing done by the end of August instead of the end of October, which of course, as you know, probably not everybody was happy with that. And but you do have to wait till July 1 for some of these tenacious plants to spring up. So you can't graze too early. And March fundraiser, and yeah, so I think that's about it. Allison, you have something to add?
I don't. You did a great job. We are going to do more of a launch party, like Joe said, in March. We've done 2 resource fairs with about 35 to 39 vendors, which has been great, but we don't want to do that every year. People get tired of the information, they've already seen it, so they don't come. So we're going to do this year, we're going to do more of a wine event and have some education with it. Concentrate on education this year. Also, do a newsletter, trying to get more information out as we go forward.
Yeah.
And I just want to say, it's so nice to see everybody. I'm in such great company, and went to Mount George the other night for their launch, and it was just great to see the turnout. So love working with all of you, and Joe here has been a wonderful asset for us too. So we're going to take the reins over here on Silverado and move forward. It's a little scary, but we're going to do it somehow. I'd love to talk to some of you about your neighbors in need. We don't really have neighbors in need, but we have people that are not doing some of the work. So we'd like to figure out some programs with them. So I might call some of you guys to figure out how you did that. And happy holidays, by the way.
Thank you, Allison. That is beautifully well said. It's always wonderful to see your smiling face. Thank you for supporting your neighbors, of course, and the projects, the field trips as they come up. I know sometimes it's a bit of a drive for some of you, but I do think there's so much value in all of you sharing information with each other. So I really appreciate that. And I did want to just interject really quickly. We do have coming for you, as advertised. We've been trying to figure out the best way to have like a platform where we can share information. There probably will be temporarily a Google Drive, and then we'll be setting up a web page that's kind of hidden from the public, but where you can share documents and information as well. But I do, I would love to create some space for us to get together and have more conversations and catch up in that way as well. So sorry, I keep on. This is why we're falling behind. Sorry, everybody. Let's see. Next up, Soda Canyon. Barbara, are you still with us? There you are.
I am. Yes, I am. Hello, everybody. we had kind of a banner year also at Soda Canyon. We were fortunate to benefit from funding from the county and supervision from Firewise, and had a major hazardous vegetation removal project going on along the roadside of Soda Canyon and also Loma Vista, and also into private property for the folks that gave us permission along the road. So it was a big help to have everything basically taken care of by Firewise. Thank you, Kevin and the gang. And hopefully this will be a benefit to all of us in the event of a fire emergency. We'll have a safer pathway for evacuation. So we're real pleased with that, and they did a good job. Also, we're coming up to the end of the month, and Carol Rice has promised us our CWPP will be finalized along with our Firewise certification, which we're also looking forward to getting that application in also. So pretty good year for Soda Canyon. So wishing everyone hopefully 2025 that will also be productive.
Fantastic. Thank you, Barbara. And you guys are doing a wonderful job too. Your picnic was amazing, and seeing the community come together to talk about issues and have a lovely picnic at the same time. You had some great speakers, and I think that was pretty great. I highly advocate for picnics. And I think we've lost Pam. She wasn't feeling so well, so she's dropped off for Spring Mountain Fire Safe Council. So I'll just give a brief update. Spring Mountain Fire Safe Council held a fundraiser recently at the Cameo and had a movie night and the short presentations on beacon boxes, which PG&E provided a grant to purchase 4 beacon boxes, and the Spring Mountain Fire Safe Council was chosen as kind of this pilot project. We'll see how that rolls out. And Brandon Benelli, who was a huge help in getting that organized, because he was instrumental in getting the original pilot, I guess, for Hennessy Rector. And they raised some funds and are raising a few more funds, because while the PG&E grant is purchasing 4, Spring Mountain's a pretty large area to cover, kind of like Mount Veeder, with lots of roadways. So the Fire Safe Council decided to purchase an additional 4 beacon boxes. So all the different areas of the Fire Safe Council will be covered by these this tool that helps support first responders in the event of the next wildfire. And then that was kind of the big piece of it, working also to get Firewise USA recognized, finished their application, submitted it, and got their CWPP signed this year. It can happen, Barbara. And then you're almost there. And then St. Helena Fire Safe Council, Chris Warner's on the board call also, but they hosted a table at the St. Helena Harvest Festival, and have done a lot of work collaborating with their local St. Helena Fire Department and COAD and others on emergency preparedness and response. And they are working on their Firewise USA as well, and their CWPP. So we're wrapping it up, and that's, I think, that is a whirlwind tour. Did I leave anyone out? I think that's everybody. And for anyone who's interested, I do have the list here for the tipping kickoff for next spring. I'll share that with you. And then just really quickly want to say to those of you who hung in there to the bitter end here, thank you so much for everything that you're doing. Thanks for being here tonight, and for helping your communities. It's so inspiring. I really appreciate all of you, and I wish I could find a way to really give you all trophies or something, shine the spotlight on you. We had our interim marketing person, Michael, on the call I saw a little bit ago, and I regret that I didn't introduce him, but we'll try to do some spotlights on Fire Safe Councils on social media too, and on our website, so that people can get to know you all better. And those pictures that you sent, thank you, that didn't quite make it into the slide deck, will be in the slide deck when we send it around. And also we'll be using those to showcase the successes of our Fire Safe Councils throughout the county and inspire some additional ones. We're still hoping to get Carneros and American Canyon and a few more fire safe councils to fill in the gaps. And Napa City is working on their CWPP, so we'll have a couple more fire safe councils added at the south end of the valley and out in the far side of Berryessa as well, potentially. So looking forward to having some more workshops and getting you guys together to chat. Hopefully we'll see you on Friday. If you haven't signed up yet, the link is on our website. The event is listed there and you can go ahead and RSVP. If you could, then we'll know how many festive snacks to bring for everyone. And we'll look forward to connecting there at the Tucker Farm Center. And everyone have a fantastic holiday.
Thanks, Sherry. Great job.
Happy holidays, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Happy holidays. Thank you.
Bye.
Thanks for joining us, Margaret. I'm glad we finally got your email on the distribution list there. Sorry about the delay there. Oh gosh, darn it. Berryessa West. I missed Megan. Darn.